Welcome to demo video on lab module. The first step is to create a request for a lab test. A receptionist or any designated staff member can do this. For this, the user will have to go to billing and create an invoice for investigation items such as liver function test, urine culture, etc. as shown. Once the invoice is saved, we can go to the lab module and choose the lab requests option to view a list of all the requests. From the list view, we can see patient details such as name, contact number, etc. and also bill status can be viewed. Here we will be having multiple filter options. We can search by name, hospital ID or file number, etc. Or we can filter the requests by doctor name. We can also search the requests by the created date or their status. We can provide a phlebotomist login ID who will have access to change the sample status after collecting the sample. Click on the barcode button to generate a barcode for this invoice, and you can use that to stick over the samples collected or for any of your use cases. Now we can see that the report status is shown as pending. We can also see the Update Sample Status button for the request. By clicking on this, the phlebotomist can mark sample status as collected, rejected or pending as required. After this, you can see that report status for this request is updated as sample collected. We can see an attachment button if any attachments are added for this request while creating invoice. We can see them here. We can provide a lab technician login ID who can then create or update the lab reports after running the tests. Now I have logged in as a lab technician. When samples are collected, a lab technician can create a report for the test. We can enter the test results in two ways. Either you can opt for our lab machine interfacing software, which will automatically populate the results for all the fields, or you can enter the results manually. It is possible to have dynamic reference values for these report fields. We can set different ranges for each of the fields according to different age groups and gender. A lab technician can enter results manually as shown. If the test results are out of range, these fields will be highlighted in the red color as shown. Next to each test field, we have the delete option. Use this if required to delete any field. If the report is not yet complete, you can check the draft checkbox and mark the report as draft and save. If the report is partially available, from the list view we can see that report status is shown as report partially available. From the edit view, users can generate barcodes for each test using the barcode button. We can use this to distinguish between each sample. If for any reason you are testing the same sample multiple times and need a different ID to be generated each time for the same sample, use the Regenerate ID button for the same. If for any field you want the results to be calculated automatically based on your inputs, we can configure a formula for such fields for any tests. And when we click on this Calculate button, the results will be calculated automatically. How to configure such test fields, I will show you in the later part of the video. For example, you can see this globulin field. I have entered the results in protein and albumin, and now when I click on Calculate, you can see that the results are populated automatically. If required, click on the Add Field button to add an extra field in the report. Similarly, if you want to add any images related to test reports, click on the Add Images button. If there are any PDF to be attached, use the Add PDF button to achieve the same. Use the Add Note button to add any notes for the reference. After entering data in all fields, save the report. The report status now changes to Report Available. As the final step in this process, pathologists can authorize the report after verifying. Now, I have logged in as a pathologist. In the Edit view, you can see that a checkbox and a button are enabled to authorize the report. Once the report is authorized, it cannot be modified by anyone other than the admin. So please make sure all the values in the report are verified and attachments are added, if any, before authorization. Most importantly, in the Edit view, you can see who has collected the samples, entered the results and authorized the report. Once the report is authorized, we have a feature to automatically send an email and a SMS to the patients with a link to view the test reports. Or if you want to send it manually, click on the email button. If a patient has provided an email address while registering, the same will be shown in this pop-up. If not, enter the email ID and click on Update Email. This will set the email ID for that patient. Click on Send to proceed. The patient will receive a report copy via email as shown. Next to Delete button, we have the History button. This will show the history of values for each test field for this patient. Let us print a report copy from the Edit view to view in detail. The report printout can be configured to show the details of samples collected and results entered time. Also in the report header, you can choose to show when the report was printed. We can configure up to 3 signatures to be printed on the report as shown.
If you would like to create a lab request without creating an invoice, go to the New Lab Order option under the Lab module. If the patient is referred from your partner organization, you can choose the insourced option, or if the test has to be done for internal purpose, you can choose internal option. Choosing the insourced option will also allow you to choose an in-sourced center from where the patient is coming from. You can later generate reports for the in-sourced center to send it to them. Search for the patient, choose the doctor, and search for the tests. You can see the chosen tests below and also have an option to remove if required. By clicking on Create Order, a request will be created under the lab request. Choose the type as in source to view the request. You can again follow the previous steps as guided to generate the report.
Now let us understand how the billing items can be set up and how to configure test fields. Go to Lab Billing Item Setup option under Lab module. Click on Add New Item button to create a new billing item. Make sure that the item type is always selected as investigation type for lab billing items. Give the item name, specify the amount to be charged for the same. Choose department from the drop-down to which the item is associated. If you do not see the department name in the drop-down, add the name in the New Department option. Scroll down and click on the Add New button to configure required test fields. Give the field order for each test field. You can start from either 0 or 1. Mention the field name, choose the field type, specify units and give the reference values for the results to be analyzed. To highlight the out-of-range values in the results, mention the reference values under the Formula tab. Similarly, create all other test fields required. Results can be auto-computed for the chosen test fields. To configure such fields, give field code to each one of them. These field codes can be any alphanumerical names. Let's say the results for the globulin field is to be calculated automatically based on the values of albumin and total protein fields. Then write B01 minus B02 as shown under Field Formula tab. This will give the desired output while calculating results using the Auto Calculate button as shown earlier. Similarly, you can configure formulas for other fields as required. Click on Save to proceed. From the list view, you can choose the type as investigation and search for any billing items set up in your account. Or you can click on any alphabet to see the list of all item names starting from that letter. Thank you for watching.